Voodoo, dark magic, evil spirits, humans being sacrificed and animals, right? Wrong. I'd like to think that one of the most common areas for single stories to breed are going to be coming from foreign countries and just places that mainly people in the States probably haven't had that much of a chance to explore. And for example, the religion of voodoo. Voodoo is an easily misconcepted religion, and that's because of Western media and the way that it's portrayed the religion. This has been done a multitude of times through movies, TV shows, even books. For example, The Princess and the Frog and the Chucky movies. In The Princess and the Frog, Baron Samedi, the witch doctor who's actually the god of death, is portrayed as the antagonist. Now yes, as the god of death, it makes sense for misery and tragedy to just follow you. However, that isn't what Baron is all about. In The Princess and the Frog, anytime he shows up, he brings this shadow of despair just following him. And for this to be shown in a child's movie says a lot about how little Hollywood really cares about the information that they're putting out there. Even me, at a young age, I remember seeing that on TV and thinking, oh, this is voodoo, this is my culture, this is what voodoo is actually about. And in the movie The Princess and the Frog, you constantly see Baron showing up to change these kids into animals, to bring about harm on their path and their journey, to just make it difficult for them to get where they're trying to get, when really, that's not what Baron's about. Baron Samedi is the god of death. However, he is the god of death because he helps the dead travel to the world of the undead. And as for the movie Chucky, we all know that Chucky was once a man, and because of a voodoo curse, you can say that curse and the serial killer, or really any entity, can be placed back into that doll. That's another form of how Hollywood has made voodoo seem like it's some type of black magic where you can stuff some dead people into a stuffed doll, or you can have a voodoo doll of someone and you can press it, stab the doll in the chest, and the real person in real life is getting stabbed in the chest too. That's not true. Voodoo, alongside several other names, was originally found in the West African country of Benin, where I was actually originally born, and has since traveled its way through the Caribbean all the way to the States. In the early years of slavery, slave masters wanted to force Christianity onto their slaves. So eventually, voodoo and Christianity just became one main thing, which was practiced in Haiti. During the slave revolt of 1791, once enslaved slaves were able to free themselves and were able to actually overtake their settlements. And within time, Haiti was completely taken over, becoming the first black republic outside of Africa. Eventually, these self-liberated slaves were able to move to New Orleans, which explains how voodoo actually got to the States. Now, what is voodoo's actual belief and what is it used for? Voodoo is more than just a religion. It's considered to be medicine. Some people even consider it to be justice, and others philosophy. Now, the whole belief behind voodoo is that this world is covered in spirits, and everything has its own spirit. As humans, we're considered to be walking spirits, walking the visible world, while there's hundreds of thousands of unseen spirits and entities. During voodoo ceremonies, offers and prayers are performed up to the voodoo divinities. Drums will begin beating heavily, starting off with ease as it picks up. People are spinning and dancing in circles. Your heart begins to pump really fast, and you watch as the priest begins to draw a symbol in the ground, pouring rum and offerings on it. This is in honor of the spirit. Eventually, you fall in a trance-like state and you begin to dance even more vigorously. The drums are beating even louder, and all of a sudden, the possession begins. In Afro culture and religion, being possessed by a spirit can actually be a good thing. The priest leading the ritual will begin feeding the animal sacrifice to the spirit. The spirit will then possess the host, and the priest will begin asking the spirit for some form of blessing or advice, whatever it may be. These blessings can range from good mental and physical health and wellness for your family, to protection from evil, maybe bad spirits, maybe you have an enemy that you're worried about, and you may even ask for your own personal wishes. You can also ask for supernatural advice, and this comes in many forms. Sometimes the spirit might offer its host with a prophecy that it'll fulfill, Or it could just be warning you about something that's gonna happen down the road in the future. Anything. Since the beginning of Hollywood movies and TV shows, it has always steered the idea of voodoo onto this dark, misconcepted path, centering the film around this idea of death, evil spirits and demons, black magic and tarot cards. When you hold as much power as Western media, Hollywood, being able to communicate as much information as you can with a large number of individuals worldwide, I think it's seriously important that you're able to do all your research before you're putting stuff out there, because you may be falsely conveying a story. The issue with single-sided stories is that they reduce how much information can be gained by the viewer. Sharing single stories tend to render informational, leaving it to be one-dimensional, which allows for the audience to make default assumptions about the topic. My name is Henri S. Thank you for joining my TED Talk.